Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us for the PHNX Suns pregame show brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsay Smith here with Gerald Bourget and Espo. Guys, how you doing? Our final game of 2022.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
I feel like that's a good thing at this point. Like let's get 2022 and the bad vibes since May pushed aside. Let's just move into that new year. We got one more to get through. Devin's not there, so the Raptor mascot ain't gonna be pulling any shit this time. Let's just enjoy what we can out of it and move on to 2023.
Yeah, I'm a little apprehensive about tonight. Obviously, the Raptors are missing a couple of key guys too, but with so many guys out for the Suns and the way that they've been playing since the calendar flipped to December, we could use a fresh start with a new month and a new year. So
new year, new me.
Yes.
I realize I just made it sound like, don't listen to this, don't watch the game, go enjoy your night. I didn't mean it like that. Stick around for us at least.
No, it'll be fun. I don't know if you guys are into like the whole astrology, numerology kind of shenanigans. But a video came up on my For You page on TikTok, and it was like 2023 is the year of like self, or it's like a 7 or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what this means. I'm just trying to repeat what I was.
Right.
Sure.
What I
Just
heard.
make it up. We're not going to.
But essentially, what I gathered from it was that it's all about self-growth.
Okay.
Which could be a really good thing for this team.
It sounds too much like internal growth, and
but it's
I'm
different
done
because
with
it's
that.
the year that it's supposed to happen.
Nope.
That's what makes it different. They were trying to do internal development in a year that was not about internal development.
I'm done with internal development. Much like myself, I've given up on that for the Suns too. They are what they are. Time to find external growth. So.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But self growth would also be better relationships. So that could be external, right? Sure. You realize the relationship here isn't working, so you move on to a different one. Hey, Espo, I'm doing the best I can here, okay?
I looked it up.
Was I right? Is that what I heard correctly? Okay, good. All right. See, I wasn't lying to you guys. I'm not in the know, but I didn't lie.
Yeah, internal growth for this show would be a good thing.
It might be good for us too. Musab said, so what's every other year? But I don't know. Like, you can't ask me those questions. I only know what I saw on the For You page.
This year was about failure. I mean, and learning to fail.
Hardship.
They've taken care of that. Now let's move on to the growth.
They beat you down so that they can build you back up.
That's
where we're on the up right now, you guys.
Sure.
Okay, sorry for derailing us off the top. But I did think it was interesting, and I thought it could relate to the Suns here. But they are going to play the Raptors tonight. The Raptors are on a tail end of a back-to-back. They did lose to Memphis last night. All positives, maybe, for the Suns, who are shorthanded again. Let's talk about the injury report, because that's probably one of the biggest factors of tonight's game.
Yeah, not a lot changing for the Suns. Obviously, Cam Johnson's still out. Dwayne Rankin tweeted a video out that shows him running and says he's getting close. I don't know how close, because he's basically just running up and down the court.
Hey, that's part of the
that's
battle.
progress. That's progress. Payne still out with the right foot strain. Devin Booker obviously out. Landry Shamet is hoping to return on this road trip. He's currently out with right Achilles soreness. And then on the Raptor side, Fred VanVleet and Precious Achiuwa are both going to be out. They were questionable coming in. VanVleet's missing the game with lower back stiffness, and Precious is out with a right ankle sprain.
My precious.
So I don't recall. I might have missed it, or it might have been right before I was out in health and safety protocol. But Cam Payne feels like he's been out for a minute. Have we gotten any updates whatsoever?
We did. Dwayne Rankin in that same piece said that Cam Payne expects to be back before the end of this road trip as well, like Landry Shamet.
Okay.
We'll see. I mean, it's nice to hear. I'll believe it when I see it, but because there's only 2 games after this on this road trip. Monday and Wednesday. So New York and then Cleveland. So maybe we see him back in one of those 2 games.
Can I just say I'm a little bit concerned that they'll be in New York for 2 days over New Year's?
Yeah.
Because we've been talking a whole lot about how they look tired. They just kind of need a break. That doesn't seem like the right city to be in for New Year's in order to get some rest.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Okay, Chris Paul, after those rumors, he can't be out and about. That's not good. Like the missus ain't going to be down for that.
Oh boy.
And a lot of the other guys that are on this team have to play right now, they ain't exactly getting those red velvet ropes open for them in New York City. So I'm not overly concerned. There's too many big names in New York, so.
Yeah.
The one positive would be that Devin's here.
Yes.
And Devin would be the ringleader because
Yes.
he is that big name, right?
Yeah.
He can get into all the places and get everybody into all the places.
Him, his
That might be one
bathtub,
positive.
whatever he needs.
The bathtub in the club in New York for New Year's. That's a look.
Look, they're going to party wherever they're.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So at least it's, in a city that is known for it. At least they'll have a good time. Maybe that helps them blow off some steam, clear their head.
Yeah.
And
they have Sunday off.
Yeah, they're
which is
not
good.
playing New Year's Day. They're playing the 2nd. So at least it's not
Give 'em a
New Year's
hangover day.
Yeah.
That's fine. At this point, I can't even look at that far ahead. It's like a game by game. Who do we even have available to play the Raptors tonight?
But I am happy to hear that Payne and Landry Shamet are getting closer to returning, because even though you can feel whatever way you want to feel about those two guys, they will help this team in a time where we desperately need everyone who is available to play to be playing without Cam Johnson and Devin Booker out there for at least another month for Book. So
Yeah.
Positive note there. But knowing that we don't have those guys back tonight, and we are still very shorthanded, how are you feeling about the way that they'll be able to match up against the Raptors?
I mean, Van Vliet being out obviously helps them, I think, because he's one of the few guys that creates. It's basically him and Siakam on offense that you really need to worry about creating a lot of their offense. And Siakam has been playing fantastic basketball since December. I think he's averaging just under like 29, 8, and 6. He's looked like a superstar. But outside of that, if they don't have Van Vliet, like the Suns need their defense to pick up, because they're 27th in defensive rating since the calendar flipped to December. Like, that's where they need to get it done tonight against a team that doesn't have a lot of offensive creation.
You would think that at first glance, but Siakam playing unbelievable in the last 6 games. It's the first time he's had 25 or more points in 6 consecutive games of his career, and over that stretch, he's averaging 34 points and shooting 50% from the field. So he's going to be a handful, that. Scottie Barnes had his 10th double-double of the season last night. And Gary Trent Jr., has been a guy that has given the Suns fits. I believe he had 42
he did.
in their last matchup with the Suns. He had 20 against Memphis. He's a guy that if you're not careful, he can give them some offense as well. Fred VanVleet, obviously an important part of this offense, but they've got guys right now that can really go out there and at least cause some trouble for a depleted team. So you're right. They have to play better defensively than they've shown lately. And I don't feel like this is the quote unquote get right game when you look at some of these guys out there.
No, this is very much a KYP game, know your personnel, because like you're saying, they do have individual guys that can hurt you if you're not giving them enough attention.
Yeah, because they have 6 guys on their team. Obviously, Fred VanVleet is one of them, who are averaging double figures in scoring this year. So 5 available for tonight's game, but that gives you a slew of guys who could beat you on any given night, potentially, especially this particular Sun squad that is suiting up tonight.
Yeah, it is a battle of it's a Ben Folds lyric, but a battle of who could care less in this game, because Suns are 2-5 without Book. If you count Christmas Day, which really was without Book, they're 2-6, and Toronto is 2-8 over the last 10 games. So these are both teams not heading in the direction you would want. So I think this is going to be who shows just enough tonight to get over that hump.
Right. And it's going back to the defensive point for the Suns. They are, as Sundress mentioned in the chat, they're starting Josh Okogie. Jock Landale started their last game. So they are going with a defense and energy first approach, which I like in a game like this against a team that's also been struggling and is coming off, second night of a back-to-back. They might be a little bit tired. Hit them with that energy first right off the start, since you've been off since Wednesday, and hopefully that can lead to some transition opportunities, some stops early on, put the game away early, and then you have another couple days for your next game.
I would rather see Damian Lee start.
Yeah.
Because you look at the way that they've started in their last 4 games, they've struggled mightily in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And it's in specific, the first like 8 minutes of those games. They've come out and they've given up big deficits, and that's proven to be difficult to overcome in most of those games. So I think I would have preferred to see Damian Lee out there to hopefully jumpstart your offense faster, but I get going with Okogie and trying to take that defensive edge early on and set the tone from a physicality standpoint, from an energy standpoint in that way. But I would like to see more offense out there.
I mean, to answer the question in the chat, the Suns are currently the 6th seed in the West, because of this 5-10 skid that they're on right now. But for me, like I feel like Damian Lee, the size thing comes into play with a team like Toronto because they have, 6'8" athletes across the board basically, and then the defense, like they've been starting off down 8-0, down 8-2, down 15-4, like over and over again. They need to establish that defensive tone off the bat. And again, 4th worst offense in the NBA since December. Defense since December. They've got to find a way to pick it up on that end.
I mean, it's just energy, really, at this point. I feel like for them, because we know that they're capable of it. We saw it this week. It's just a matter of, do you want to play defense tonight or not?
Yeah.
Well, and do you want to hit the glass too? Because second chance points is going to kill your defense every time. So if you're giving up too many possessions, that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
There's, like you said, Joe, there's a lot of length on the Raptors squad. Obviously, Pascal Siakam poses a little bit of an issue for this Suns team. How are you guys feeling about the way that they might be able to stop him, might not be able to stop him? Is he the key?
He's a tough matchup for the Suns because, like I said, like the Raptors are already a tough matchup as a team because they have all these guys that are so tall and long, and they've kind of been at a size disadvantage all season long. You add in a guy like Siakam who can handle the ball, who can stretch you out to the 3-point line. That's a tough assignment for whoever's going to draw that assignment. Like Torrey Craig might not have the size or the strength for that. DeAndre Ayton, okay, if you're putting him on Siakam, he can draw you out of the paint. That's when you open yourself up to second chance opportunities. And also DA, that's a tough assignment to stick with a guy like that all the way out on the perimeter. And then who are the Suns putting on their center? So it's a tough one.
And we've seen that when they pull DA out to the perimeter, we're seeing a lot of back cuts and easy buckets when that happens, when DA is forced out of position, which has been part of the defensive problem here. So there's a lot of quandaries. I don't want to see Torrey Craig on him simply because that guy looks gassed. Like he looks like a guy that if they had a full strength roster, he might just get a night off because he's been so beaten and hammered so hard. I feel like this is a tough matchup for him, but Mikal doesn't have the size to go there. So are you going to maybe put Okogie and try him early on? Is that why you started him as a potential guy that could try to play some defense there? Again, size is a problem, but that's what happens when we've talked about this. Team has no true power forward, no size there to battle these kind of things, and you run into these problems.
Right. Mikal definitely has like the length and the defensive instincts to guard Siakam, but not the strength. Okogie has the instincts and the strength, but maybe not the length or the size. Like,
if only we could combine them into one.
Yeah. You might need to just throw different looks at him and try different things in a game like this.
Could we do a BoJack Horseman and stack 2 guys on top of each other? Trench coat?
Yeah.
Vincent Adultman, you are the Suns starting power forward now.
But honestly, like, credit to Torrey Craig because he has been asked to do a lot more than I think anybody anticipated him being asked to do this season. And he's done a really good job at stepping into that role. Like he's had better games and worse games throughout the season so far, but as a whole, he definitely at the very least gets a B+ in my book.
Yeah. I mean, 8 points and 5 rebounds. He's shooting 40% from 3. He's going above and beyond as far as what we expected. The problem is that if Torrey Craig is your starting power forward, that kind of limits your ceiling. And they've also just struggled defensively with him in that role, which is weird because he's a good defender. The Suns are a good defensive team, but for whatever reason, the defensive connectivity with that group hasn't been as good as we were hoping for.
Yeah, look, Torrey Craig is the perfect kind of guy to be your backup power forward, your backup 3 in some cases, or whatever you want to do. But when you have to start him, that obviously means there's a problem
Mhm.
in your rotation. He's doing everything he can. He's been the few bright spots in terms of heart and hustle.
Mhm.
I mean, he does not give up. The man does his best in every scenario and shows what the other guys should be doing. But there's limitations, and I think we're just seeing that. There's only so much Torrey Craig's going to be able to provide you. It's the reason why he wasn't your starting power forward to begin with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing what he can.
All right. The real question of the night is what's better, a Sun or a Raptor?
I mean, the Sun arguably
Provides
wiped out the
life.
Raptors. I don't like.
To be fair, it was the fact that the Sun got blocked out that wiped out the Raptors. So
if there's no Sun, there's no Raptor.
I think that's very much the case here. I
Yeah.
mean,
I love how you guys made this so like literal. That's my favorite thing. I'm just going based on which one would be cooler to be, and I feel like a Raptor would be cooler to be.
I don't know.
If we're taking allegiances out of this,
Hold on.
right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
You think being a small, oversized lizard is cooler than being
Yeah.
the most powerful thing in an entire universe that, you know, is without it, there's no life that's sustainable. You're burning at the brightest that can burn, and you
like,
want to
that's
be
all
a
you
freaking
do.
oversized lizard?
But that's all you do.
Yeah, and all the freaking
You
oversized
just- you
lizards.
just- You just keep going.
I mean, who
and
amongst us would not like
going.
to sit around roasting people all day?
mean,
Like,
You could do that as a
Hold on.
Raptor too.
Hold on.
You could just sit around all day.
The Sun is, Lindsay. It roasts people all the time. It assumes everything orbits around it. It's the center of its own universe. I mean, come on.
Damn, Espo. I thought this is
Boom.
the end of the year. This
Yeah.
is not Festivus.
I gotta
Came in with
get
some
things
heat.
out. You were gone for so long.
He's like,
now.
listen, I gotta get this in before we start a brand new year, and I gotta do the whole new me bullshit.
I'm turning a new leaf. I'm going to be a kinder, gentler Espo, but I got 2 days till then. So
Oh my god, an oversized lizard with a negative wingspan at that. I
yeah.
mean, listen, you guys are probably correct. I just think being a Raptor would be kind of cool. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool. I love the Raptor logo and the jerseys that they had back in
No,
the
we're
day.
talking
And-
literal.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's what, like, as a kid, like, you see those uniforms, you, like, want to go out and get dinosaurs. Raptors were the coolest dinosaurs.
Having a dinosaur as a pet would be dope.
I mean, I will say this. If you're a Raptor, you'd be friends with Chris Pratt, and that seems like it could be kind of cool right now. So
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If I was a Raptor, I would be the one who like let Chris Pratt be my friend and then turn on him. I'd be like, gotcha.
that
Why
is
is
the
there
most
always
Lindsay
betrayal
Smith.
involved?
I don't know. I don't know.
Lindsay so badly wants to be a villain.
I
Yeah,
do.
she does.
I just feel like they don't get enough credit.
the villains
Yeah.
for
If
what?
we didn't have villains, we wouldn't have any of your superhero movies. They would all be
Okay,
garbage.
I'll say that. The
So
strength
you're
of
welcome, Gerald.
the strength of DC is its villain.
They
Yeah, I
have the
will say
best
that.
villains. The best villains.
Batman has better villains.
They're
than any
way
other.
easier to root for. I'm
That's-
just saying.
That's why people gravitate towards him, because he's a normal man defeating some of the better villains you're going to see in superhero. How the hell did we wind up here?
Because it's the last game of the year, and as the fourth topic of the show says, guess we have to watch.
Shit.
Before we get into the guess we have to watch, let's take a peek at what we're putting money on tonight. First and foremost, who you guys got and by how much?
I have the Raptors by 2. I don't have a whole lot of confidence tonight.
Yeah, I've got the Suns by 1. The Raptors have been struggling just as much as the Suns. They've got a couple guys out, and the back-to-back. I lean Suns way, but very narrowly.
I have the Raptors by 3. I went back and forth on this one this morning when I was making my decision, because I did want to take the Suns, but I don't know. I just have this bad feeling that it's kind of like, this week is just like the week from hell where you don't know what day it is, what's up, what's down.
Yeah.
If you've eaten it all throughout the day, kind of a thing.
The
How
end-
drunk
I draw the
are
line
you?
there.
The end of year
You know what I
malaise.
mean?
I draw the line that I know if I've eaten or not, or how drunk I am. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't know in a week like this. But I draw the line somewhere.
It's
all
like,
right?
when you just don't know if you're sober or not for a whole week.
Well, you
You know
just
when
wake
you
up
don't
and
know
you
where
start
your
drinking at
pants
10,
are for,
and
like,
then
an
all of a sudden you're just like, oh shit, it's 6. Where did the day go?
Yeah.
You know? So I just kind of feel like it's one of those weeks for the Suns where they're just like, let's just get this year over with. We'll start over next year. We'll try to be better then.
I mean,
But for right now, we're going to be as degenerate as possible so that the new year, new me is a real drastic change.
So the Suns are treating this like I treat working out. Yeah. New year. It's going to start. Don't worry. It's going to happen.
Right, because you got to get in all the calories, all the carbs, all the Christmas sweets now. So that it's a really drastic change.
By the way, Trace J, one of our Girthlick, says, Espo, what the heck? Just like last game, didn't have the Suns winning. I was right last game. So.
How dare you, sir?
How dare you be right?
They also asked, where'd Saul go? Saul's on vacation. He'll be back next week.
Fired. That's code word for fired.
Saul's fired. We suspended him. Okay, what does DraftKings think of tonight's game?
They also think Saul's been suspended. No, they have the Raptors as a 2-point favorite.
Huh.
It doesn't surprise me.
Which is basically, they're the home team. I mean, that's what it is.
That's interesting on second night of back-to-back. I wouldn't have expected that, but maybe
I mean,
they're finally adjusting.
That's basically a toss-up, right?
Suns,
2 points is a toss-up, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah, the Suns were favored the other night on the tail end of the back-to-back, too.
But it was 2.5, wasn't it? Or 3.5?
2.5, yeah.
2.5?
So.
Yeah. I don't know. The chat's confident, though, as Sunderist points out. Aussie Suns fans pod, Suns by 12. Hosea Suns by 5. Trace has Suns by 4.
Sunderist Punk had, I call him Sunderist Punk now, from the Discord. He had him by 4 as well.
I'm oddly, I don't know why, I'm oddly not as concerned about this game. And I feel like,
really?
I have no idea why.
You picked him by 1.
I don't, but I'm like, I'm splitting hairs with the points, but the fact that I'm picking the Suns, I don't know how many points.
I'm surprisingly not worried. I have them winning by the smallest margin they possibly could win.
But they're winning. I have a win.
All that matters is they win.
Like, I don't know. I know that last game was kind of like, okay, everything kind of crumbled in the last game because they had 2 great games, but 2 out of the last 3 games, they've come out with the right energy. I don't know if they maybe overlooked the Wizards on this road trip or what, but I feel like they've brought the adequate level of play in 2 of the last 3 games. And I do think last game was kind of like, oh shit, we got our shit handed to us again because we didn't show up with the right energy. I don't know why, but I feel like against the struggling Raptors team, maybe tonight will be a lot more competitive.
I think
one can only hope.
I think it'll be competitive. Mm-hmm. I just feel like the home team gets it in the end. I don't know. I guess I have lower expectations right now. We talked about this last game. I don't see on any given night where the extra oomph comes from. Maybe it is Josh Okogie tonight. Maybe it is a Damian Lee, or Dwayne Washington Jr. But I don't feel like I can count on that as much as obviously. So I'm less confident when it comes to it because I don't know where or if at all it'll come.
Yeah. Well, I'll be the first to admit my confidence right now is totally unfounded. I have no idea why I feel this way. I just feel like
I feel it in my soul, you guys.
I just feel like this game will be better because I don't want to do what we did last game again.
Hashtag analysis.
I just have a feeling, guys.
I think this is the first time since PHNX became a thing that Gerald went off of feelings.
I didn't know he had feelings.
I thought
it was just analytics all the time.
We got big feels.
I don't know.
When we finally tap into Gerald's feelings, maybe he's onto something.
Maybe. This is either going to be really funny after the game or I'm going to look like a prophet.
I love that it's like the most even keel feel, though. It's like I kind of have a hunch that I think it'll be okay. I'm not sure, but maybe. Like, where I just assumed everything you calculated the math on. You did, like in Along Came Polly, you were calculating the risk on every last thing.
Well, it's that 1 week where we just don't know if we're drunk or sober, so who knows?
Where's our pants? Who knows?
Who knows what's going
that week.
Oh, my goodness. All right, Espo, what are you putting your money on the DraftKings Sportsbook app tonight?
Gerald's feeling. He has them plus 1,200. I win. I'm going to say Deandre Ayton under 0.5 blocks at a plus 125. There's been far too many times this season where he gets the big goose egg. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling tonight will be one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a topic of discussion last game for sure. I saw that quite a bit. I am taking the first field goal to exactly be a Raptors 2-point bucket at a plus 180.
Okay.
I feel like the last handful of times that I have picked any Suns player to make the first bucket, it's always been the opponent.
Yeah, and it's
For some reason, it's been real off lately.
there's been no consistency, much like everything with the Suns this year. There's been no consistency in who hits the first bucket. So
No.
I think if you're going to play first bucket, it's what kind of field goal and who hits it is the better way to go about it.
Yeah.
We really didn't realize the good thing that we had with Crowder's Cash Club.
We really
didn't.
didn't.
I mean, I could really use that $3,000 that I went off Jay Crowder right now. Hey, Jay, you're not doing anything for the money. How about you send me $3,000? That'd be
Right?
nice.
Oh my
Venmo
God.
Espo, because that's just, it's fair. It's
10
just fair.
I mean, what? We played a third of the season,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So $1,000.
So he's made $3,333,000. You know,
He's got money to
dollars. Like,
spare.
I'm just asking for like 1% of that. Like, hook a brother up.
If you get a Venmo for $3,000 with the subject line "Love is love" in all caps, we'll know.
Oh my God.
That would be amazing.
It'll be from a burner account, though. It won't be from Jay specifically.
Be from Trey Browder.
That is fantastic. Jose said very iffy. Are you talking about our bets? And if so, are you talking about mine? Because I feel like it's mine. I've never placed that bet before.
Yeah.
I have. I hit on it.
Did you?
Yeah, a week or so ago. Yeah.
It just like nothing was really like standing out to me on the app today where I was like, ooh, I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
My feelings weren't as good as yours, Jay. They were really
My
bad.
feelings are based on nothing.
I
So
had sour feelings.
Don't tell your fiance that.
for this game
My
only.
feelings are based on nothing.
All right. Well, I guess we have to watch this game.
Mhm.
Any final thoughts or hopes and wishes?
Let's close the year out on a dub.
Yes.
Let's basketball.
Verda.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy the game. Fingers crossed. It is a good game that is semi-enjoyable at the very least to watch. And then meet us right back here after it wraps up. Bye.
PHNX.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though. Lindsey Gerald.